This is Omegasis from Mega Man Star Force, and you're watching Anime Egotists. Geo, let's go buck wild on them.
And welcome back to the Anime Egotists, where I'd like to think we'd be invited to some anime birthday parties.
Yeah, but only if we brought the catering, probably.
We're both cooks. We're both good cooks. I'm okay with that. Anyways, my name's Alex, and I've only been kicked out of no circle of friends. You can't be kicked out of a circle of friends if you don't have one in the first place.
I have, and I'm Richard.
That's correct. And when it comes to anime, there are a lot of characters that we'd like to be friends with. And yes, we've done this before, but we'd want to do it again.
Yeah, but our friends, when it comes to anime, there's so many characters that, yeah, I feel like you'd want to be friends with, and would probably be receptive to being friends with us as well. So
Completely agree. And no, we're not replacing anybody on our last list, I think. But these are just more characters that we'd like to be friends with. But before we begin, two things. I feel a little bad. And on the last time we did a list of characters we didn't want to be friends with, I said Black Star and Patty from Soul Eater, but I'm taking them off that list. They're cool now that I know Soul Eater better. I'm cool with them. I want to be friends with them.
all right, it's a big change to your list. So
Yeah. Yep. Even Black Star's growing on me somehow. Oh, and as usual, just want to say a big thank you to May for all of their hard work on the thumbnail. But with all that, we should stop stalling. Would you like to start us off?
sure, I can. So the first character I had on my list uh, was Fudo Aikawa from Love After World Domination.
Okay,
So
I haven't heard about this show from you.
this is the Power Rangers-esque show from I think it was last year, or the year before, where pretty much the Red Ranger is in love with the uh, like highest ranking female minion, and they go on these dates behind the scenes. He's just a great guy. He's the main protagonist of the show, and uh, just he'd be one of those guys who just wants to uh, hang out with everybody, but also we'd be more. I think we'd be the ones that he'd come out and tell that he's trying to date the bad guy, because that's part of the whole premise, is that they're hiding their relationship from them. I think we'd be open enough to be among the group that finds out early on that they're dating.
Yeah, I feel like you would be open, and I'd be like, I don't care. It's like, but you're not going to rat me out. Like, I could not care less. I've already forgotten you told me. Do whatever you want.
Yeah, I'd be like, awesome, man, enjoy. So I don't care. We're not fighting today. She's go enjoy yourself.
Yeah. And I haven't seen this show, but I need. What about him makes him a good guy specifically?
He's the best way I can describe him is he is kind of the best of all the Red Rangers, but subtracting the cockiness. They give the cockiness to, I think it's the Blue Ranger of this series. So he's much more on the kind-hearted. He's what a lot of the Red Rangers become as they grow from their that early cockiness. I'm mainly going by the seasons that I remember, which is like Dino Thunder and stuff, where um where the Red Rangers have that level of I'm better than you, or I've got that especially early on, and he's already developed into the leader at this point.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, like I said, it is a show I've kind of been trying to give a chance, even though I'm kind of I say I've sweared off romance anime, but that's not even completely true, especially for later on this list. But I don't know the guy that well, but he seems cool.
Yeah, I think you would enjoy this show. It's very much what if the Red Ranger tried to date the lead female henchman of the bad guy of the season.
So it's like the Silver Ranger from Power Rangers in Space, except this one actually happens.
Exactly.
Yeah. We should talk about Power Rangers more on this channel.
I'd be down.
Yeah. But I can co-sign. He seems cool.
All right. So your first one?
All right. Since you're talking about a Ranger, so I want to talk about a Ranger who I'd like to be friends with. Shinonome Pink from Mr. Villain's Day Off.
Okay.
All right. Shinonome Pink, or otherwise known as the Pink Ranger. Her at first glance, it seems like she's this cool, badass fighter or who wants to protect people, and she is in a sense, but deep down, all the Rangers have these weird little quirks about them. And the Pink Ranger's quirk is she doesn't want to be a Power Ranger. She's always wanted to be a magical girl.
That is absolutely hilarious because it's pretty much the equivalent of it's the male fantasy version of it.
Yes. Now, first of all, if like she does like to sit around in the dark and watch anime, and she's kind of ashamed of it at times. So I would walk in and be like, "What? Oh my God, you're watching anime?" She's like, "Oh no." I'd be like, "So, how is this one?" I've heard good things about it, but I just want to get the unique perspective. Like, I feel like I'd be able to get along with her, and we could just talk about anime. And she's a kind-hearted person, albeit somewhat mischievous. She's somebody who I'd have enough interest with where I'd be like, hey, on your go fight villains on your day when you're doing that, but on your day off, don't be ashamed of what you're doing. I think you want to be a magical girl, I'm not going to shame you for it. She's actually a really cool person.
Yeah, it seems like a very interesting and nice character that would be uh to be friends with. I could definitely see that. Trying to be that supportive friend who understands just how much you enjoy something, even though other people view it as childish or lame or something. I could definitely see wanting to be
Yeah.
friends with her.
Yeah, she also likes to take pictures with her friends, even though it's like, look, I know we're on the job a lot, but we are friends. So the Black Ranger would like if we all took a picture together, so we're all taking a picture together. She has some camaraderie to her. There's also this weird episode, this really weird episode where the evil general is meowing at a cat because he's like, oh, if I get this cat to take over, if I can talk to this cat, we can take over the world together because humans love cats, but they just meow back and forth at each other, and the Pink Ranger's just hiding behind a tree, trying not to go crazy. I guess she's a cat person, and I have cats, so I don't know. She's fun. She's cool yet funny enough to where I'm like, hey, we could be friends.
Yeah, as I said, I think I'll co-sign onto this one. I haven't seen the show, but I think this sounds like a nice friendship that you've kind of got in mind.
Yeah,
All right, so my next one.
please go ahead.
So I put uh Rimuru Tempest from that time I got reincarnated as a slime. The thing with him is as long as you don't really like try to attack his people and all that and are kind of striving for to make a better world in this case, he would be fine with us. And I think we'd be like, okay, you treat your people better than most of the human societies here. Let's go live here with you. We'd much rather do that.
Yeah, I was about to be like, can you bring like one more person? Because I'll go too.
Yeah, it's just his view on the world and how he treats his subordinates and all that by comparison to almost every human leader that you see in that uh, world makes me go, wow, maybe the monsters aren't so bad sometimes.
Sometimes you think human beings are the real monsters, but that's yeah. I'm dangerously close to starting the show. I mean, like, I'm not just saying that like compared to other shows. I'm like, wow, that time I got reincarnated as slime, it seems really cool. I've just started two other shows, so I haven't seen it yet. But I do think just based on the little I've seen, I'm gonna like this guy.
Yeah, he's also a big nerd from when he was before he was reincarnated. They uh, mentioned that he had like that he played computer games, he read manga, he watched anime. So there's that aspect to his personality of being able to talk that stuff in a world that doesn't necessarily have it anymore.
Yeah, yeah. I think like I think it's safe to say we get along with most nerds. Still provided we don't tell them we have an anime podcast where we bash a lot of popular stuff. But as long as he never listens to this, I think we'll be good.
Yeah, I think so. Well, that's the thing. He might actually be one of those that would be like willing to join the podcast or something. He'd probably want to be the one who started one in that world somehow, even though there's no magic or computers. He'd create a magic version or no electricity or computers.
I'm going on vacation in October. If you want to film an episode with him, you have my blessing.
Hey, I'm also on vacation in October, so spoiler alert, we're not going to be having some episodes in October.
I not podcast episodes, but I will try maybe for something else. We'll talk about it. I'll figure it out.
All right, so your next one?
All right, she's low on the list because I've talked about her before. I don't care at this point. Chisato Nishigiki from Lycoris Recoil.
Okay.
She's just a fun-loving, bubbly, kind-hearted person. Like Chisato's main thing is realizing just how valuable and how precious life is. So she always lives it to the fullest. She wants to make memories with her friends, but she's also, as nice as she is, she's kind of mischievous. Yes, she'll play pranks on people, but at the same time, I'd be like, these aren't harmful pranks, and she's able to pick up on how people feel, whether they say it or not. Not nearly as much as another character on my list, but I'll get to him later. There's something about her, like, I don't think I've ever met a single person who watches the show who doesn't like her, and to the point where I'd be like, I've talked before about how she's one of my favorite characters the past several years, so I'm like, I have to be friends. I would have to try and be friends with her.
I can definitely see it. I've only seen a few episodes of the show, and she's definitely seems like one of the ones that's very much that bubbly personality that even you could have like the most goth, depressed attitude, aura about you, and she'd still try to make you smile.
Yeah. She does have that sense about her. Heck, even though I didn't put the rest of the characters on this list, I'd like to think that other people she worked with like it. She's like, "Hey, can I bring people for the party?" I'm like, "Help yourself, please."
Sorry, I definitely will co-sign. I want to finish up this show. I just haven't had time. My schedule keeps fluctuating so much lately.
Yeah, it's fine. Like I said, she's just one of the most likable characters in the past several years, and I'd like to think that the two of us combined, well, not a lot would get done because our brain cells wouldn't be doing much. But she's still, I like her. I like her enough that I'd be like, I don't care. She's cool with me.
Yeah, I, uh, she's very nice from what I remember. So I'll definitely sign off on this one.
All right,
So my next one.
please.
So I put Chad from Bleach. He's just this big, strong, stoic type who cares about all of the little creatures are pretty much in the world. I could definitely see him being just another person and another tall person in our front group in the back. Just, but he's the one who doesn't say anything except for like one or two words. He does like we go to wrestling matches and he just polite claps because he's.
I
But
was
then
about
he
to.
somehow ends up in the ring and just.
I was about to say. I feel like I'm open to this, but I feel like there will be times where I'd be like, "Hey, did I do something to him?" And he's like, "Oh no, he's cool with you." I'm like, "Are you sure?" He barely said a word. All right, so I can't tell if I'm doing something wrong or not.
Yeah, he'd be one that it seems to be always there, but always just quiet. It's like almost scary to the point of like, oh, we closed the door before he walks in because we didn't realize he was right behind us the entire time and
I like to
stuff.
think I like to think I would try to remember, but yeah, we do need more quiet friends. Let's be 100% honest.
Yeah, but as I said, he's just. I feel like he would be a nice addition to our kind of friend group that we've had.
Yeah, I'd like to think he would train us if he could.
He probably would. He would just be very disappointed in the results. I feel.
If you want, no, actually, never mind. If I want people disappointed in me, I would just hang out with my parents more often. But maybe Chad would be cool.
He'd figure out a way of either getting us well trained or understanding that we have our own limits, kind of like the other groups that he has of friends that don't get powers in Bleach.
How how many people is that exactly?
I don't know. There's 3 or 4 guys and like 2 or 3 girls that kind of fit in that group that are around the main cast when they're in the human world, but don't have powers. They can kind of sense at what's going on and know what's going on, but they are more. Uh, they just don't have like the ability to transform into some sort of powerful thing to fight Apollo or something.
I guess I can see that. I don't know. Oh, based on the little I remember about Bleach, I always remember liking Chad. So I can definitely agree that he seems like he'd be a cool guy to be a friend to have as a friend.
Yeah, and when compared to like a lot of the other characters being very much punk or thuggish, it feels like he would be a good fit.
Yeah, I can co-sign.
So your next one?
All right. Satone Shichimiya from Love Chunibyo and Other Delusions. She just seems like such a fun person who, while doesn't she's not always able to pick up on how people feel, her heart's always in the right place with it. Not to mention, she like look, growing up can be really hard sometimes, and it's a necessary thing. But to me, she kind of has the value of, hey, I can grow up, but I can still have moments of my life where I can be a chunibyo, where I can have fun, where I can laugh. And it always made me kind of sad because it felt like she was kind of the friend that nobody really liked. Like she never seemed to have friends at her own school. So I'd be like, you know what? Hey, you're a little weird, but we've already got weirdos in our group. You in or what?
Yeah, I have a feeling that some of our group would definitely have probably been classified as probably Chunibyo or something. Just in, I, am I wrong? I just have a
No, no,
feeling.
no, you're not. I'm not laughing because you're wrong. I'm laughing because of the shame.
Hmm, it's fine. Embrace what you love, as we said before.
Yeah. I am and I not I guess I feel like her and the Pink Rage would get along because she's like, wait, you're a real magic girl, but Shichimiya doesn't have any actual powers because she's a Chunibyo. But we'd all find ways of being like, oh yeah, that spell you used, it was really cool. Does anybody know what she's talking about? No, just let her have it. All right. In all seriousness, though, she is a very sweet, kind-hearted person. And even as the love rival, she gave up the person she loved because it's like, hey, if he's happier with somebody else, it's okay. And I'd like to think that makes her a good person.
All right. Yeah, I can see that. She sounds nice. I could definitely see her fitting in with kind of our group of friends and all that. So I could see that she would be the one that drags us. Like we would have gone to more conventions as a full group or something.
Oh, sweet God. Oh, sweet. Oh, I guess we're doing. I don't know if how I feel about doing group costumes, but maybe she can talk me into it.
We have enough people. We could probably actually do a if I know the Ranger Con you and Jay's thing, but eventually, if you ever want, I guess we could try to get the whole group together as a team of Rangers.
We'll think about it.
All right. So my next one.
Please.
So I picked Toma Aizawa from Tomo-chan is a girl.
Okay.
So this one I picked specifically because I felt like she would be part of the friend group for like all the wrestling stuff in our group. I have a feeling she would be very much into all that. She'd be the one that tries to that um like convinces some of us to probably try to use the wrestling moves that we just saw in person, and she'd probably beat the crap out of us because she's just that much more athletic.
And this is a good thing because
Because and she'd still be very nice about it. She doesn't know her own strength in some cases, and I just think this would she'd be kind of that great mix of almost super wrestling fan
yeah.
to
I
join
feel
us
like
on all that stuff.
I feel like she would drop me on my head at one point. She's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." I'm like, "No, dude, what are you talking about? That was awesome."
Do it again. Set me up for the next move.
Yeah, and I'm just like, yeah. By the way, you got. I don't know this. Haven't seen the show, but I know enough. I'd be like, girl, you gotta be more forward. This is not like you've known this man long enough, and no, you need help.
Yeah, I think we could also encourage her to uh, reach out to the guy she likes. I can't remember his name off the top of my head anymore, but
Well, it's not called all the Tomo-chan is a girl, and then her love interest. It's called like she's the star of the show. Clearly,
yeah, her and the female cast of that show is a lot more interesting.
I hope by interesting you mean good.
Yeah, just they have a lot more personality from what I remember because you've got Tomo, who's the very athletic, uh, brawny main character, but then you have um, the her best friend, who's kind of the more serious, stereotypical kind of Japanese design with the black hair and all that, and then Carol, the bubbly, uh,
Is she
yellow-haired,
is she
blonde-haired
the one
girl.
in the pink dress?
I believe so. Yeah.
All right, man, we're talking about man. A lot more characters are associated with the color pink on this list than I expected. But hey,
Yeah, I think just with how I feel she would react to watching wrestling and then probably trying to reenact the matches, she would probably just be she'd be a great addition to our friend group in that
yeah,
sense.
not to mention from based on what I've heard, she is kind of an ass kicker. So and look, Richard, let's be honest. We there are times where we need some sense slapped into us.
Oh yeah, yeah, no, definitely. And
Yeah.
I yeah, and I feel like, as I said, we could be relatively more supportive than her actual friends and giving her good advice on to pursue the boys she likes.
I mean, maybe, but is there anybody on the planet who thinks to themselves, "Huh, maybe Alex and Richard know how I can win my crush over"?
No, but I would say we do better than uh kind of what her best friend does in that show, but I'm not going to spoil it in case you have decided to go watch it. So
We'll see. But I can go sign. She seems like she at least. I don't know if I'll ever give the show a chance, but her herself seemed like a cool enough person.
yeah, I think if you watch even some of the shorts, it's just it gives you a lot of the enjoyable moments of the show.
All right, I can co-sign.
All right. So your next one?
All right, it might be a little bit of a surprise, but I still want you to hear me out from everything I've learned about this character.
Okay.
Oxford from Soul Eater.
Okay.
All right, at first glance, Ox just kind of seems like a stuck-up know-it-all, and to his sense, he kind of is. But throughout the Soul Eater series, he's actually seen to be very dependable and intelligent, but he also seems to get mad at Hero and Excalibur for peeping at him and when they were going on their power trip. So there is a sense of loyalty to the guy. But what really sold me on him was Soul Eater Not, because it in the prequel series, Soul Eater Not, uh, uh, one of the girls, Kim, she has pink hair. I don't really another person with pink, but she's kind of closed off in the beginning, and I wouldn't say she's a bully. She's a little bit of a bully, but Ox tells some of the new girls in class, like, "Hey, I know Kim can be kind of harsh, and I know she's kind of closed off, but please be nice to her. She's been through a lot." Because spoiler alert, 5, 4, 3, 2 it's revealed that Kim is actually a witch, so her attending the school could be really dangerous for her. But Ox being the one person who says, I'm going to give her a chance and I'm going to cause her to open up and be happier, to me, it went, okay, you can sit with us, Ox. That's pretty cool of you.
Yeah, I this is the one with glasses, right? I'm just trying to make sure I remember it
Yeah,
right.
he had his last strand of hair ripped out by Liz in the test episode.
Okay, yeah, I can co-sign. I remember finding him annoying in his first few appearances, but then he slowly grows on you because he becomes a side character instead of just the one-off. Like for like this, because the first two times you see him, he's like I think that test episode and him meeting Excalibur. Those are literally I think the two episodes.
Yeah, and I know he kind of has a pseudo rivalry with Maka, but I'd like to think that look, with all the idiots, I say this in the nicest way possible. With all the idiots I have on my list, it's nice to have at least one person who's using his brain. And I'd like to think that he'd be like, okay, guys, am I the only one who can use his brain cell today? I'm like, yep, it's your turn. It's always my turn. I know, but like I said, in all seriousness, he proved himself to be an incredibly loyal, kind-hearted person. And while he can be annoying, like I still think it's worth it because he's super reliable.
Okay, yeah, I think I can co-sign. I like the idea of someone who's kind of got that show-offy nerdiness, but then but proves just how loyal and kind they can be, even though they have that facade of being just a know-it-all.
Yeah. I think in the manga, him and Kim actually do become official, but I could not remember off the top of my head. I don't remember if my friend told me that was legit or if it was maybe they are, maybe they're not.
Okay, I don't know. I with Soul Eat or not, I just don't know if it's is it worth going and watching it because
I
I hear
believe it
mixed
is.
things.
I don't think I will not say it's as good as the original series, but I do think it works in giving certain characters more to do. Like Liz and Patty feel more important because of Soul Eater not, and I appreciate their characters more. So in a sense, it's kind of worth it.
Okay, I may give it a shot.
And there's also no Excalibur, so that helps immensely.
Oh, come on! So they got rid of the best character.
Do you want me to come over there? Do you like do you know? You better hope the next person on your list can protect you from my wrath.
All right. Well, I think we're in honorable mentions time. If I'm not mistaken.
Sure, go ahead, you punk.
So, my first honorable mention is one that is kind of obvious when I thought back on this list because he's nice to everybody. It's Tanjiro from Demon Slayer.
Okay.
He is like the nicest guy. He uh always feels bad whenever he even slightly inconveniences someone. I just feel like he'd be someone you want to just be like, dude, stop apologizing. You're so nice. I feel bad that you're apologizing. Come on, man. Let's go hang out. We're good.
I feel like I would pick on him at first, but it's just very much that, dude, I'm trying to get you to stand up for yourself. In all honesty, I am trying to help you, but he does seem like a nice guy though.
Yeah, it's just with how nice he is, I put him on this list. There's nothing really necessarily about him that makes me say, yeah, he would make a great friend. It's just how nice he is, which is why he's an honorable mention.
Yeah. Is Nezuko, is that her name? Is she invited too?
Possibly. I haven't watched the latest season yet, so I don't know if she's how much of her personality because the last we got was just a few words from her. So
Uh-huh. I'm okay with that. Maybe she and Chad can hang out.
yeah, that would be an interesting pair, the demon and the human demon slayer thing.
Yeah, but Chad would just shrug his shoulders like he doesn't care.
Yeah, he'd probably pat her on the head when it because she'd probably show up in little girl form for him the first time, and he'd be like, "Oh, I've got a little sister now." And Tanjiro would be so jealous for a second.
I feel like yeah, I feel like Tanjiro also with his sword, like we could make money off that. Like he'd be like, hey, we're doing a short film. We need Tanjiro.
Yeah, and then he might also be able to teach us how to breathe because sometimes I need to learn how to breathe, take a step back and actually breathe.
What I got nothing. I got
I don't
nothing
know.
for that.
All right.
My
So your
head
first
hurts.
honorable mention.
All right. These honorable mentions, I'd like to you've brought up some shows that we haven't talked about that much. So I'm like, you know what? Let me do the same for me because I have three.
Okay.
Akihiko Nirei from Windbreaker.
Okay.
All right. So despite being classified as a delinquent, Nirei is kind of on the odd side. He takes notes on everybody, even the smallest detail, like, oh, you use 3 shakes of salt instead of this other person, and using 2. That's interesting. And he's kind of goofy and cowardly at times, but he's also willing to put his life and dignity on the line to protect the people he cares about. And despite not being that far into the show, I immediately found myself loving this guy just because he can be hilarious when he needs to be. I don't know. I don't not necessarily for the fighting premise prowess or anything, but I just find myself just very little into the show, but I think I already like him. Like he just seems like I know I'm about to get my butt kicked. I know things are about to go well for everybody, but I'm still gonna step up and do what I want and protect the people and help the people I care about. So in my mind, I'm like, I think he'd be a good addition.
Yeah, sounds like he would be a very loyal friend, willing to like. He might be another one that's kind of jokey with the rest of the group and making fun of one, but if someone tries to actually do something to one of the friend group, he'd be one that steps up to like kick whoever's asses he needs to fix the problem.
Yeah, well, considering how many weirdos are in my group, we might need some hands. But like I said, Nirei, he's really likable from the few episodes of Windbreaker I've seen, and honestly, I'm kind of ready to finish it because I'm like, oh man, what's next?
Okay. Yeah, I'll co-sign. I don't know this show well enough, so I'll have to look it up, but probably just
It's on Crunchyroll and it's fully dubbed, if that helps.
it's on the older side, isn't it? It's not a
No,
new.
no, it
Oh,
just
it's
came out like I want to say the last season, like spring 2024.
okay. I must be thinking maybe it's Windwalker or something. I don't know. There's some show that has wind in the name that I remember being older.
Maybe Seraph of the Windbreaker.
Maybe I don't know.
That's not even a real show. I just combined Seraph of the Wind and Windbreaker just to see.
I don't know. There's something I remember, but I don't know. As I said, I'll co-sign. I don't
Yeah,
know the show well enough.
yeah. Last closing points. Windbreaker. So far, it's pretty cool. I'll probably finish it at some point in the next couple days.
Okay. All right. So my next honorable mention. So this is one that it's only after watching the first like parts of Boruto that I really started thinking about this. Hinata Hyuga from Naruto.
Okay.
The main reason is stuff like that we get with her in Boruto, where it's revealed that she's the grand champion of like ramen eating at Ichiraku's. It's stuff like that. It feels like we somehow were the Shino and Kiba, whichever.
I don't know who's who
Oh,
at this point.
yeah, and we would just be good friends with her, being former teammates and all that, and just I don't know. She would fit in. We take her out for ramen, and somehow she'd end up out eating both of us. It's just
Hey, she's a princess. As long as she's paying for it, I guess I'm okay. Because I'm not paying for 40 bowls.
I think if you break the record, it's free. It's so if someone can eat 41, they get it for free.
I guess I could try that. That being said, I'm kind of I Boruto Hinata. She does seem happier for the most part with everything going on in Boruto. She's a little scary sometimes, I will say.
Yeah, and this is more of just for the little bits we've gotten from her. More is now that she's not as shy as she was when she was in Naruto and maybe the start of Naruto Shippuden, but definitely her Boruto scarier version probably would make an interesting addition to our friend group.
Yeah, yeah, not a Boruto character I was expecting, but but still one I can be like, yeah, I can kind of see it.
Yeah, I just feel like she'd be another one that I have a feeling might like wrestling, like going to an event and getting like she'd be completely quiet until the match starts, and then she'd be like one of the ones standing on her feet the entire time, like
Oh,
telling them to knock the teeth out or something.
I feel like if we went to convention with her, somebody would say, "Oh, that's a really nice Hinata costume, but you have some problems here, here, and here." And I'm like, "That you get? All right, no, sure, sure. We didn't ask you to come over and give us a grade, but sure."
And she would just be, if she was the old Hinata, she'd be very much like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was in costume," kind of thing. And
I,
then,
I just, I just saw it. Just wear your Shippuden stuff. You'll be okay. You'll be set.
yeah. All right. So your next one?
All right, Yuga Ohdo from Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens.
Okay.
He like Ox, he's a really smart, capable person, especially when it comes to technology. But I also feel like when we do more creative videos, like when we say stuff like, hey, what type of video game would we like for this series? he's just very much into that sort of thing. And there are times where we do kind of get like, okay, there's no way this would ever happen if we came up with an idea or something. But Yuga would be like, hey, let's actually try doing something with that. He's somebody who will help anybody accomplish their goals, even if they seem lofty. So to me, like he just seems like a super cool person who I'd be like, yeah, I'm cool with that. Plus, we could duel nonstop.
Okay. Yeah, I could kind of see it. This is the main protagonist, right? Of seven.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, he seems like the creative one who would go out of his way to make our ideas like if he couldn't make our ideas reality, he'd find the game that would allow us to play what we want.
Yeah, yeah, but even past the admittedly somewhat selfish reasons, like I said, he's just a supportive person who always tells people to go for their goals. We would just have to protect him because he has a fear of ladybugs. But I'd be like, all right, I guess I could stop. I guess I can protect you, but it's fine.
Yeah, he couldn't come down where I'm at. There are like it's like a season of ladybugs where the house gets like you can find like 20 or 30 in the house.
We would have to like blindfold him and walk him into your house. Like, all right, I got you. I got you. No, those aren't ladybugs. Those are ladybuzz.
Centipedes.
They're ladybuzz. Damn it.
Just go with like the either be like that or go the most horrific route. Oh yeah, they're centipedes.
He might actually be like, ooh, centipede. Oh, nope. No, oh, but Yuga, he seemed based on what I've seen of Sevens, he's a cool guy. Like to be his friend. Also, his friends are awesome.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I haven't seen much of Sevens, so I don't know. I've seen like an episode of all the series except for Sevens, I think, right now.
There's another character who I thought about putting on my list, but well, I'll talk about him. I'll talk about him in another video because he might be my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh character of all time.
Okay. Yeah. Ah. So my last honorable mention,
Go ahead.
I have Gohan, specifically Dragon Ball Super Gohan on my list. I know he's not the coolest and he's lost a lot of what made him cool, at least in most Dragon Ball Super. But I feel like that's the version that would actually be our friend. He's kind of that nerdy one. We'd stop by and he'd be like, "Nah, I gotta work," and we'd be like, "Oh, come on, you're a professor. Why do you have tenure? You don't need to work."
I can kind of see it. I do. I don't think I would be as hard on him about slowing down after Super. Like, did you see? Like, I'd be like, did you guys see what he went through as a kid? I don't blame him for wanting to be like, no.
Pursue, yeah, him pursuing what he wants versus having to become his dad, pretty much.
Yeah. That being said, I would have to give him a hard time because, I've said in the Dragon Ball superhero movie, when that guy shows up, was like, "Hey, we have your daughter. If you want her back, you have to." He's just like, "Go away. I'm working." I'm like, "How dependable are you, you deadbeat dad?" See, there are times where I feel like I'd have to sit him down and talk to him, but like, yeah, no, dude, we're seriously in trouble. It's me and the Pink Ranger, and neither one of us are capable. Please help.
Yeah, I have a feeling like he would just be one of those like we'd come by and he'd try to throw us out and we'd somehow just keep sneaking back in, even when he like goes Super Saiyan or whatever the I guess it's Super Gohan or Beast Gohan or whatever they call it now, and he'd just be like somehow he'd kick us out and then we'd come right back in.
Yeah, heck, technically he could teach it to us. Apparently, Beast is a technique that humans can learn.
Interesting. I,
At least,
I'm really hoping that they start up the uh anime again soon.
well, Dragon Ball Daima, I actually have to take back some stuff I said about it. I am a little more interested in watching it.
Okay, I'm interested. But I want. There's some arcs that I hear are really good in the Super manga that happen after the Tournament of Power that we haven't gotten yet on the anime. So
Yeah, and I'd like to think. In all seriousness, though, I like Gohan. Honestly, any version of Gohan, I would kind of be cool with being friends with. He's never really a character who you sense malice from. Well, except Super Saiyan 2 when he first transforms, but that's something different.
And maybe I don't know what to call him. It's adult Gohan when he comes back from training to attack Evil Boo, and he's like he's a bit more menacing there than
Yeah, but we can't play sports with him because if we throw him the ball, he'll drop it and I'll be like, "Oh man, you dropped it." Kind of like that Peltara earring. What happened? What happened with that dude?
yeah. We still haven't gotten any other real fusions in the anime besides Goku and Vegeta fusions and Gohan and Trunks. Or
Go,
Go
I mean,
Goten and Trunks.
we could get Tien Shaw, but I guess Budokai 2 isn't canon.
Yeah, I just it feels like that should be used again sparingly, but a bit more with some different characters. I'd be more interested in getting some new transformations.
There is a game on the 3DS that does explore that concept. I'd actually say it might be worth it. It's pretty fun.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I remember when that came out. I was just, but I think in the anime, just like Goku tries to fuse like I can see them almost recreating the scenes, with change Gohan for Vegeta or Goku, and then it has to be the opposite. Imagine like how the studious Gohan and Vegeta having to fuse. That'd be interesting.
Sparking Zero, please get on it, but like respectfully. But yeah, Gohan's a cool enough guy. Hey, and despite being powerful, he's his kind-hearted nature really shines through. So I can see why you'd want to be his friend.
Exactly.
All right, my last honorable mention.
Go right ahead.
All right, Anna Yanami from Makine Too Many Losing Heroines.
Okay.
I'm not, yeah, a lot of new shows for me. I'm sad. I'm impressed, but also a little sad. But Anna's Anna's kind of an oddball because there's only been one episode of this show lately, so she's an honorable mention. But she's a childhood friend who gets rejected in the very first episode, and she hates every single second of it. So I'd like to think that because I've said before, it feels kind of lame how the tsundere always ends up with the main character rather than the childhood friend who seems better for them. So I'd like to think if we watched romance anime together, we would both just trash it together endlessly. It's like, ha, look at this idiot. And oh, this isn't gonna last. But she is a person who helps make and buy meals for people that she cares about, but it's mainly just the idea that, wow, I don't like most romance anime. So maybe if me and her teamed up, we could just trash it together.
I can kind of see that. She sounds interesting, and again, I think this is the second time at least one of us has had a person who would help probably cook for us, even though
Yeah.
we both like cooking.
Yeah. Yeah. In one of the moments, she's like, don't worry, I'll make you a meal. It's right here. It's like, no, this is clearly store-bought. I can tell you wrapped it up, but the guy's like, no, but you clearly, no, this doesn't count as homemade. What are you doing?
Uh, like, she sounds nice, and I could definitely see like if she became a little bit more God, what's the word? Pessimistic about romance. I could see you and her getting along where you just make fun of like watching some sort of romance anime or something and just making fun of it.
Yeah, I'd like to think we'd find some good stuff about it, but at the same time, I'm just like, I I don't know. And she also does try to encourage people to go after who they're going after. So maybe she's like, "Yo, Ox, I don't know if it's worth it, but you can try, dude.
All right. Yeah, I'll co-sign. All right. So my final one.
Please."
So this is one that I took me a minute to decide on who I thought would actually fit it. And then I settled on Tenya Ida from My Hero. He's the um, kind of studious, glasses wearing guy with the engines in his legs that make him fast. He's
Okay.
just he starts out as a guy who is very much the stickler for the rules. He's very much kind of like we have to do it one way, and there's only one way, and everybody tells us how it is up front. I think we'd be able to convince him. It's like I love that you feel like everybody's going to tell you exactly how it is. but that's not how life works. People are not going to tell you everything you need to know, and you're going to have to figure things out on your own. And he'd just be one of those guys who slowly opens up and turns into a kind of a true friend as he kind of embraces the group, whether we have something where he kind of goes through a dark period like in the anime or not. But just overall, I think him becoming such a nice loyal friend, willing to uh step up for everybody else when after that, to kind of embrace his idea of being a true hero. Just everything about him I feel like would be a great friend.
Yeah, I do get the feeling I would have to bust him a little bit for being such a stickler. It's just like everything has to be perfect. I'm just like, okay, hear me out. It does make sense to do that, but how about this? No.
I could also see it being one of those things with him putting like he would have had a fit in our dorm rooms because just like we were not terribly dirty, but he's very much the person that would have everything in its place. And if it's not, then it's wrong, and he'd throw a
So
fit.
he's a kid. So he's a kid from Soul Eater. Oh boy.
Not to that extreme. It's like he'd be the one who hears a rumor that we're having dorm room inspections and would have shown up and insisted that we clean up and put everything away exactly where it needs to go and not look like the rooms are lived in at all, except for like they're staged for something. He'd just show up randomly to make us do that.
Yeah, the worst part, the thing I do would want to see is if he showed up alongside one of our RMs. He's like, and the RM's like, "Oh, okay, you guys passed." He's like, "What? No, they need to do more." I'm like, "Dude, I swear to God, if you make us fail this inspection, you are going out that window."
Yeah, I could see him saying, like, going into one of our rooms, his chair is 2 feet from the desk.
And I would just be like, pushing it further.
And we'd probably turn and say, we were either playing a video game or watching anime or watching wrestling together, and that's why the chair isn't in the desk.
Or it's the first few days of us living together, and I'm waking up, and Richard and Nathan are shirtless playing Madden. So that he can put a stop to that. It's okay.
Oh god, that was a long time ago.
And it just
That
feels
was
like
sophomore
yesterday.
year, wasn't it? That was literally right after you moved in.
Yeah, that I should have known it was a mistake from there. But in all seriousness, he does sound like he'd be like a good leader type, like a good head on his shoulders when everybody else is acting silly, which, in all honesty, is appreciated.
Yeah. And if he had been like part of our group going for groceries every week, he would be with us that left 5 minutes before everybody else. And except for he would insist that we walk fast enough to get to the car and leave without them.
On second thought, I'm on board. I like this guy.
Ah, and also, yeah, I just like Tenya Ida. He seems like a cool guy, and I feel like he goes through some stuff, and we would help him through it as well.
Yeah, I can understand that. I haven't, even with the little I've heard, I've never heard a bad story about this guy.
Yeah. All right. So your final one
All right, let's see. My final one, Gordon Agrippa from Black Clover.
and cosine.
I just feel so bad for the guy. Like he does everything in his power to like help people and read them. And even if he was whispering, I'd be like, "Hey man," like if this was early in the series and he was always whispering, I'd be like, "Hey man, like is everything good? Are you set?" Like he, much like Chisato, but to a better degree, he's a really good job of reading people. And despite the fact that he has a very scary looking face, I feel like most of our group would just be like, "Hey, most of us are ugly. It's okay, so it's fine."
Yeah, I could see it, and I would hope that we would be the ones that he would be able to talk to normally.
Yeah. Also, he has the when he considers somebody his friend, and one, he's super loyal to them, and two, he has these poorly made dolls, also to the point where they look horrifying. And I'm like, I want one. Please make one of me because these look super cool.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to that point. I think in the series where we get. Oh no, I have because that's we do see those early on, don't we?
Yeah, they are terrifying. But he also loves strawberry shortcake, which I mean, like I also love sweets, so we'd all be set. And he's just really good at reading people and figuring out the type of person they are. are. And I'd like to think that he, like, even if you're not always willing to talk about something, like, he would find a way of sensing you'd be upset, and he'd be like, "Hey, it's all right. Like, we're all here for you as your best friends."
Yeah, I remember him being uh always really nice. And I've seen the scene, like the first line that I think he actually says really out loud is isn't it during the Royal Knights selection exam when when the brother tries to kill
Finral.
Finral, and he's like, and actually says stuff. It's not just whispering because he's pissed.
He's
Just
like,
like
"You
everyone.
actually made it piss me off." I'm like, "Oh, sweet God. I, you got this longer. You got this longer. Have fun."
Yeah, because yeah, that is one of the best scenes in modern anime. I still think, even just because it's so emotional. Because you see that it's like Finral's found family that's better than his old family.
That's an incredibly low bar, but I do agree. I just feel like he would get along with. He tries to find a way to get along with pretty much anybody, and especially with the people on our groups. I'd like to think it'd be like, oh, Gordon and Chisato hanging out. You have this bright, bubbly, loving person, and another bright, bubbly, loving person who looks like Marilyn Manson and who's scary when he smiles. But they're both still loving people.
Yeah, I can see it. I think he would make an excellent friend.
Yeah. I do feel like there would be times where I'd be like, "So, Alex, everything done?" I'm like, "Yeah, everything's set. We're good." It's just like, you and Chisato. I'm like, "Goodbye. Good night, Gordon. I'll see you later."
He's that friend that asks the awkward questions, isn't he?
To an extent, yeah. He'd be like, it's just like you guys are just seen hang out a lot. I'm like, she doesn't have a car. Have you seen this girl drive? I have to drive for everywhere. And she's just like, yeah, you're a good friend. You're a good friend. I'm like, Gordon, please don't say anymore. Or almost, Gordon, stop. I love you, but you're still my friend. Please stop.
Yeah, I need a break. But we just got together. I need a break.
I need a break. I'll see you in like I'll see you in like 5 minutes when NXT starts.
I can't. There were so many times that we did that sort of thing. With we go to dinner, they'd be like, "Okay, we've got 10 minutes till NXT." Everybody went to their own place, did their own thing for those 10 minutes just to get a few minute break.
Yeah, and then Jabari would come into my room and I'd be like, "Son of a bitch!" Good to see you. But like I said, Gordon, he's such a sweetheart and an intelligent but caring person who would probably know when to back off at certain times. And despite being kind of goofy, I still love the character, and I'd still like to think he would be a really good friend.
Yeah, I'll I agree. He'd make a good friend.
All right, are we ready to close out?
I believe we are.
All right, so ladies, gentlemen, anyone who identifies differently, who are some friends who are some anime characters you think you could be friends with? Are there any we missed? Go back and check out our first episode and let us know. Like, do you disagree with any of these? Just tell us in the comments.
And do you like these lists? Because as we said in this video, I think we could easily do more of them.
Yeah. Sadly, I think before another best friends we could have an anime, we also have to talk about more characters in anime. We'd be like, no, I'm sorry, but I'm also not sorry for some of these characters. You can't be my friend.
Yeah, we'll eventually get to that. I feel like.
Yeah. But anyways, let us know. Like the video. Well, let us know if you want these characters showing up. They probably won't, but who knows? We got some connections. Be sure to comment, subscribe, be good to yourselves and each other. We'll see you next time. This has been Alex.
And Richard.
And you have been listening to Anime Egotists. Good night and peace easy.